Hello and welcome to the channel. If you haven't done so already, make sure to like and subscribe. It's free. So let's talk about the used car market real quick. Now, the used car market was booming during the pandemic. Like everybody was buying cars because, why not? Because you were getting government money, or at least you were getting incentives, way more money when you were on lockdown. And then, so what happened was brand new cars weren't getting built because all the factories have shut down and the production of semiconductors was very limited. So it was harder to get brand new cars. We're still struggling to meet that demand for certain vehicles, but I think it's getting better. Now, the one market that was flourishing very, very well was the used car market. So, market or dealerships or brands like CarMax, Carvana, Vroom, they were, they were doing really, really well because the used car market was booming because you couldn't get any new cars. So, if you decide to sell your cars, I always say either I don't know, I always say, but I'm talking about like personally, if I'm talking to friends, family, I always recommend them to go to Carvana and sell their cars there because they will give you the most money for your car. And even though they have their issues with selling cars, releasing titles, and different different array of different things that are going on within the company with its issues, and well, it's not that kind of video. So let's go ahead and talk about the article, which CarMax, Vroom, and Carvana are not making a Super Bowl ad, or they're not going to be participating in advertising in Super Bowl ads, which kind of tells me they're not doing good. Like every time I drive by a CarMax lot, the lot is literally full of cars. Full. Now I'm talking about just like little carton full, every single one. And there's two locations that you know what? Let me take that back. About is it two or three locations? I think it's two locations that I drive by when I'm on the freeway. There's two locations that I always see, and the lot is like jam packed with cars. It's insane. So the used car market is actually on a downward spiral, and companies like Carvana, Vroom, and CarMax are going to be struggling to sell those vehicles. Now, Carvana has its own issues, like I've stated, with whether it's titling cars, not giving ample time, and just a bunch of different issues that they're having. But CarMax doesn't have that issue, and the convenience of purchasing a car online, I can see the attraction to it because you don't have to deal with salespeople. And if you all know, I think car buying is one of the worst experiences I've ever had. I hate it. Buying brand new cars, I fucking hate it. I hate the experience. I hate how they make me feel. It's just it's a terrible experience. So that's why these companies like Vroom and Carvana was able to come in and be successful is because of that reason where they didn't have to talk to a salesperson. The price you see is the price you pay, nothing less, nothing more. Now, whether you get a decent loan, that's completely up to you. If you go with your credit union, then you might get a better interest rate, but what you get is what you get. And I kind of like that idea. I wish that more companies would actually do that. Now, the fact that other manufacturers or like Ford and GM are actually trying to figure out ways around the dealership network because they're getting the report from consumers that their dealerships are being pieces of shit. But anyway, sorry I went off on a little tangent there. But let's go to the article. We'll make it a quickie after that. All right, so here we go. This is the article. CarMax, Carvana, and Vroom opt out of this year's Super Bowl. Three of U.S. largest used car retailers, CarMax, Carvana, and Vroom, are not going to air commercials during this year's Super Bowl. Um, I don't know, 42, 52. I don't know. I can't tell Roman numerals. All three companies have undertaken cost saving measures in a bid to offset decline in revenue triggered by slowing used car market throughout 2022. Their decision not to air commercials during the big games this year, despite all three having aired commercials in the past. CarMax has run multiple Super Bowl commercials over the years, while in 2022, Carvana aired its first Super Bowl and its last. And Literally, like Carvana just stock just went like on a downward spiral, which is insane how that company is imploding. It's crazy. Vroom also ran a commercial last year's game as well as during 2021 Super Bowl, but with some 30-second advertising costing as much as 7 million this year, running commercials doesn't seem to make sense for them. Well, of course not. It doesn't make sense if you're not making money. The used car market has been on a downward spiral, and it's a good thing for consumers. So those of us that are looking for used cars can finally get a good deal instead of getting, ass raped worse than the brand new dealership or brand new cars that the dealerships are selling. Now there's certain vehicles that are still going to be up there in price regardless of whether you're getting it used or new. You're going to get hosed regardless if you don't do your research and look around, which is very, very important. When you're buying used or brand new cars, just do your research, be patient, and you will get the best bang for your buck. That's the best advice I can give you guys. Full details of those companies running commercials during next month's Super Bowl are not yet known, but it's reported that Nissan is one automaker that will not air an ad. Kia will, however. I think Kia also was actually an NFL sponsor, if I remember correctly, because Pepsi had hang on. I think it was Pepsi pulled out of the sponsorship, and then I think either Kia or one of those, or probably GM. I cannot remember specifically which company or which car company took over the sponsorship. Let me give me a second. All right, I was completely wrong. It's actually Apple Music. Apple Music is taking the sponsor from Pepsi. Pepsi is no longer sponsoring the halftime shows, so it's being sponsored by Apple Music. I thought it was one of the car brands. I could have remember reading something about it, but like I said, it's such a long time ago. But it's irrelevant. But this is really, really great news for consumers or people that want to purchase used car. You can rest assured the market is leveling out, and you might be able to get yourself a deal comparing to the last, a few years where the semiconductors was extremely limited. So I think we as consumers are going to be in a better place, and them dealers can just go fuck themselves. They put themselves in these situations, and I hope you don't do any business with those shady motherfucking dealerships, and you go to one that treat customers with respect and value our money, because all those other ones can go fuck themselves, and hopefully they go out of business. Anyway, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you do, make sure to hit that like button. I really, really appreciate every single one of you guys for liking, subscribing, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Have a lovely evening.